Good morning, good morning, good morning. Peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. You already know what it is. You already know. Hopefully, earlier, you got a chance to catch my video about Congresswoman Miss Jasmine Crooked Crockett. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. And, with that being said, I don't want to spend too much time going back and forth about that lady. All that's allegedly. But I wanted to double back because we have a replacement by the name of a conservative brother. Sholden Daniels is the replacement for that Congress seat. A conservative brother, fought in the wars, you know what I'm saying? Been in the service. A husband, a father, young brother, very sharp, and he's a no nonsense type of dude. You feel me? So, with that being said, I want to present a video, right, with an interview that he did with a righteous perspective. It's the content creator here. It's just to give y'all, what this is what we need in the office. You know what I'm saying? Conservative, young brother, and he ain't playing no games, hold no punches. So without further ado, let's get to it.
All right. What's going on, Sholden? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you pulling up today. I know you're in the middle of your work day, but I definitely appreciate you carving out some time for us, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. A righteous perspective is awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. So I want to jump right into this, man. First off, before we get started, I want to say congratulations. You, the wife, the new addition to the family. Congratulations on that. You guys got your hands full right now. Running for office and a newborn. How are you doing this?
God, my wife is amazing. She's super supportive. She is the best, the best teammate and friend and wife that I can have. And I got a lot of support too in the community. So it's one day at a time, one play at a time, but we're winning.
I hear that. I hear that, man. My kids are grown. I have a 23-year-old and a 18-year-old, so I'm not an empty nester. My youngest son, he's still in college, but my oldest is currently in the military, U.S. Navy. And your background, extremely impressive, man. Extremely impressive. U.S. Army veteran. I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm a Navy veteran myself.
Oh, okay.
But, I'm not going to hold it against you, though. But, attorney, family man. And I want to start things off by just asking, real fast, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and, why you decided to run for Congress?
I was just raised to be, a service to those around me, be of the community and to care about people. And, in my line of work, I'm an attorney. In my line of work, I have an opportunity, and it's a blessing. I get to work with a lot of different types of people and help people bring real solutions and help them in their most troubling. This is just the right step in the right direction at the right time for me. With the representative like the one that we have currently, it's just an embarrassment. And I feel like it goes to show how far off the rails, our community is really starting to go, how easily people are misled. And so, I was blessed with the ability to get up there and do the job. And so I feel the responsibility to throw my name in the hat. It's really just that simple.
Understood. Now, I think everybody knows, and if they don't know, you're challenging Jasmine Crockett, who, to put it nicely, will say that she's definitely been a lightning rod in Congress, for the viral meltdowns, over-the-top antics, outlandish rhetoric. I got to ask you, had you been considering, running for this the entire time, or was it after, seeing her behavior and the way she's kind of handled things in office? Is that what really, I guess, spurred you to take this type of action?
Absolutely. Seeing how, she does a terrible job on all fronts, right? If you like her outspokenness and how she allegedly speaks truth to power, I think she still fails at that even because, she's just yelling the same tired old tropes and she's offering no solutions. She's doing nothing to build bridges in DC to be able to deliver on any of these supposed results that she's fighting so hard for. But, today or it may have been yesterday, I just tweeted it on my page, but she admitted that, she's wholly ineffective as a legislator. and that she should probably do a better job being a politician and less of an activist. And, for those exact reasons is why I was like, you know what, I can get up there and I can speak truth to power as well. But I know I can be effective as a legislator. And I know with me being a young Black Republican, right, and with the Republican Party clearly going to be in power for the foreseeable future, I think it'd be best for the people at TX30 to have someone within the party in power who can actually deliver real tangibles for the district instead of just having somebody up there that's basically just complaining and being paid $174,000 a year to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess in your opinion, what do you see as the biggest problem that she's causing, to her constituents as well as the district in itself?
Pure lack of representation. I mean, we have a Congress for a reason. We have a U.S. House of Representatives for a reason. And we have major employers. We have some of the biggest blue chip companies you can think of. Southwest Airlines is headquartered in our district. The stock exchange, the Texas Stock Exchange, is going to be headquartered right here in our district. So many other amazing companies and huge employers. You got so many small businesses and just hardworking families and entrepreneurs that really just want, a taste of the American dream. Your person on Capitol Hill is supposed to be not only legislating, either passing laws, passing good law, or reforming bad law, but they should be using that influence part of their position to be directly benefiting the people in the district. And she doesn't do that. She uses all of her connections to get herself onto red carpet events, to get more red bottom shoes from these designers, right? And that's all she really uses it for, to get selfies with celebrities. I would be the type of congressman, more like a nuts and bolts fixer type guy. I'd be on Capitol Hill, obviously holding people accountable in committee, but passing legislation, pulling bad legislation. And then in my meantime, I'd be using that influence to directly benefit people in my district.
Understood. And what do you see as the, one of the top one or two, most pressing issues facing your district right now? And how do you plan to address those?
Well, the school systems are failing in Dallas and really all over the country. I'm starting to find now people are reaching out, but I would definitely push hard on the school choice movement and that wave. And it's really a matter of just educating people. A lot of people, and especially young parents, are so hooked on this Department of Education and just the current status quo on how our public education system works, that the real challenge is not getting them to buy into it. It's just getting them to understand what it means. Once they understand what it means, they want to buy into it. And so school choice is a major policy thing that I'm pushing here, but also just pro small business policy. So rolling back, for example, the Corporate Transparency Act that was recently passed that makes everybody have to fill out this form every year just to say who owns the company. And if you don't do it by a certain deadline, you get taxed or you get penalized, right? And so these are the little things that add up for small business owners in all different industries that I want to get rid of. I want to pull all that stuff back and just pave a way for the small business owners and the entrepreneurs in TX30 and really America to just be able to take off and realize that American dream. Also, I want to work with banks and lenders to get them to tweak their criteria for giving small business loans for first-time requesters, for younger people, young entrepreneurs that want to start up a business. I know when I was 18, I could have got a loan for $500,000 to go get an underwater basket weaving degree, but I couldn't have got a $50,000 loan to start a business that would have been tremendously successful. I think that that's wrong. I think that's one of the things in our society that needs to be tweaked that can immediately and tremendously affect the people in TX30 and all over the country.
I would agree with that, 1000%. One of the other things too, not just starting businesses, but we have a lot of older people that are retiring currently and looking to exit their businesses. So helping to get, some of these young people to, obtain loans to be able to jump into some of these businesses that are already turnkey. They're already profiting. They've probably been in business 15, 20, 30 years. I don't think a lot of people even know that these things exist or these opportunities exist. Everybody talks about startup, but they rarely talk about the existing businesses and the amount of people that we have that are, in that senior citizen that want to exit those businesses and they don't really know how to exit those businesses.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store.
I would agree. We live during a time where people, especially investors and people looking to buy companies, and people are just coming out way more sophisticated when it comes to money and investing. I don't know, maybe it's just the culture of the retail trading and the crypto and just, the current state of affairs where people have to hustle and grind just to stay ahead. And so, that forces people to kind of step up their level of financial acumen. And I think you're absolutely right. I think the problem is that our laws are still set up based on the world where you had this small class of elite people who really knew how money works and how business works, and everybody else was just labor force. And I think we need to retool the way our system works so that people just coming out who want to buy a business or start a business, it's very easy for them to get capital. It's very easy for that company to exchange hands and make it really easy for people to realize the American dream.
I would agree with that. I love that. I love it. And I mean, small business has been the backbone of this nation, and it seems like we've gotten away from that. So it's good to hear, someone like yourself that want to push that type of agenda and try to help move us back into that area. I think that's extremely important. I'm a small business owner myself, and that's something that when I do speak to young people, I'm trying to give them, some insight and some wisdom. And then at the same time, use your phone for more than just watching TikTok videos and YouTube shorts. Information is as free as it's ever been in the history of mankind. YouTube University, so forth and so on. There's so many ways to get out there and gain information for little to nothing.
Right, absolutely. Another thing, policy-wise, in my district, it's 40% African-American, but it's about 45 when you add it up, Spanish-speaking people. And then you have, mixed people and Anglo origin people. But here's the deal. A lot of people in my area, especially in Texas, they want to focus on like the anti-illegal immigration stuff. And that's all fine and dandy. Like, I'm definitely opposed to having an open border, and I'm opposed to illegal immigration. But I think that the legal immigrants, especially the ones who come here and start businesses and create jobs for Americans, I feel like they don't really get enough love from people on Capitol Hill. And I kind of want to reward the people who come here legally, start a business, create jobs, create no problems, right? I feel like they should be able to tap somebody from their hometown and say, hey, I nominate this person to come here and do the same thing. And when they do, that person that they nominate should have a much more expedited process to gaining their citizenship here in America, if under the condition they're going to come here and create a business and just continue the process. This is how I feel like we can still keep, the spirit of being a nation of immigrants and a melting pot. But instead of attracting the people who want to come here and get a free phone, free, money on a card, hotel, we're attracting the people who want to come here and really chase the American dream. And not only that, the most important, we're attracting people here that love America first.
I can actually get behind that idea. I can actually get behind that. My last question, then I want to share some clips that I want to.
Wow, that was really good. I like that idea. That way people can engage. You know what I'm saying? And we are a country of immigration. It's just the proper way. Like you said, if you contributed to society, we want to open up that avenue for you and your people to come over here to help build up, not just take away. I like that. And I wanted this to just kind of play without interruptions so y'all could get a full, understanding of this brother. He coming with a lot of fresh ideas. He coming with a lot of, information, unlike his opponent. You know what I'm saying? Jasmine Crockett. She doesn't pass any legislation. Ain't talking about doing nothing for the people. It's just a bunch of race bait. You see the difference in this young conservative brother and Jasmine Crockett? Totally different.
I want to get your take, on a couple of clips that I have that, myself and the team have put together. What sets you apart, your opponent, Representative Jasmine Crockett, in this race and how, I guess moving forward, once you find yourself in Congress?
I'm really a man of the people. I try to shy away from the limelight. I definitely like working around people who have motion in their career. And, in 2025, a lot of times that means they're going to have some type of attention, whether it's social media or the media. But I never want to be that guy. I'm more about just getting the work done. If there was something that I wanted to be known for when it was all said and done, it absolutely wouldn't be how much money I made or the stuff that I had. It would be the work that I did and the people that I helped and the change that I helped usher in. I see America, big picture wise, we started out great. We had a tumultuous time in our period, but now we have an opportunity to kind of go back, look at some of the old institutions that we've had, how we've done things, and we can retool things and make ourselves even stronger for this next phase of our existence. And I want to be a part of that team that sees, that vision and helps bring that into fruition. I don't want to relitigate 400-year-old cases. I'm not here to remind everybody what happened 165 years ago. We all know what happened. everybody, has their opinions, but I'm just of the opinion that we need to sit aside our differences and start focusing more on what we have in common, lock arms as Americans, and then trust forward like that.
I would agree.
Bam. Killed it. You know what I mean? Killed it. But yeah, man, that shelter, and that's pretty much the whole interview there. You know what I'm saying? With Sholden Daniels, the replacement for Dallas. And I think that we need to have more conservative replacements. We need more conservative replacements for these liberal Democratic people that are in office, on local, in Congress. I wish we had a good conservative come get Brandon Johnson out of Chicago because he's bankrupt the city, prioritize illegal immigrants. We need more conservative minded individuals to, bring us back to some common sense, man, on every level of government. So this is great, man. Sheldon Daniels is the replacement. If you saw the video earlier, you saw he on the job because in the video earlier, he checked he catching Jasmine Crockett and all type of little alleged crooked activities. You know what I'm saying? Stealing money allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But before I get up out of here, because I didn't want to do too much talking, I just wanted to play that. But I do appreciate the fact that a lot of our people are waking up, man. A lot of our people are waking up. And once again, this is righteous perspective. Great commentary. We show him a lot over here. I do encourage you guys to go ahead and subscribe to A Righteous Perspective on YouTube if you have not already. And he had this wonderful clip of the sister, breaking it down as far as why she is not a Democrat. So let's do that.
When I first announced my run for Congress, I had this random white woman, liberal, walk up to me and ask, well, what about you isn't Democrat? To which I responded, well, besides my skin color, what about me is Democrat? And it was at that very moment that she realized that God gave her enough common sense to ask me about my values. Now, don't get me wrong, I was raised to vote Democrat down the ballot. So when I first started, I would say things like, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a conservative. But now I know all too well I am a full-fledged, hardcore conservative, and I'm proud of it. I mean, my favorite saying is I was born Black, not Democrat. But in all seriousness, whenever I began to think for myself politically, the choice was easy. I mean, why would I want to belong to a party whose mission is to infringe on the Second Amendment as if a criminal would ever participate in something like a mandatory buyback? Why would I want to belong to and endorse a godless party? Because there is no such thing, and I mean no such thing as a trans child. We have confused children and sick enabling adults. Why would I want to belong to a party that takes pride in shedding innocent blood? Number one, as if that's not what God hates. Number two, as if there's not a black market for baby organs. And number three, as if abortion clinics didn't start in the hood. Because if you think Trump is bad, you should research exactly who Margaret Sanger was. But speaking of the Black community, why would I want to belong to a party who's responsible for the foundation of the Triple K? But it's not just that. Supposedly in the 1900s, the party switched, right? But what never changed, what I noticed never changed, is Democrats' love for immigration, how they have always prioritized that over the Black community. I mean, imagine every single Democrat leader helping you joke about what a Black job is in 2024, exposing your ignorance on 1924 and how imperative the Immigration Act of that year was, how it was all reversed in 1965 with the Hart-Celler Act, how Congress refuses the advice of the Rockefeller Commission and the Hesburgh Commission, and how to this day they refuse to adopt the Barbara Jordan blueprint, validating every single thing that Dr. Claude Anderson spoke of generally, but specifically what Mrs. King spoke of in 1991 with her letter to Congress. Now, look, I'm not saying that the Republican Party is perfect. No, nobody's perfect. What I'm saying is I saw with Malcolm X when he said that the liberals were the worst thing that could ever happen to the Western Hemisphere, but y'all ignore that, just like how y'all ignore LBJ saying, and I quote, I'm going to have Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and by God, 60 years later, I see no sign of recourse, but rest assured your vote is your voice, even if it is a whisper. Thank you, Council. Mayor Parker, whenever you're ready, you can call your next speaker.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, Lord. Hey, man, let's get more conservative in our thinking. You know, and when I say that, we as a people have always been largely conservative, whether you realize it or not. And like she broke down the history of the party. You know what I'm saying? It's clear cut. I mean, you can't get no more crystal clear than that. And I thought I'd be, remiss if I didn't share that with you. But hey, it's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you support the brother Sholden Daniels, the replacement, But until we speak to you soon, we love you. Peace and blessings. And we'll see you soon. All right, 100.